Hello there, welcome back to Team Fortress TV. We've got a fantastic game for you coming up right here. It's the finals of the Challengers Cup, the grand finale. I'm Sideshow. With me is Admirable, whose delightful voice you've been listening to over the past few hours as he's weaved a tale of, essentially, of Epsilon. You've really been following Epsilon with DavidTheWin on production as they've made their way to this grand final.
Yeah, they looked a little rocky along the road. Probably just the sunshine factor. But lucky for them, sunshine isn't going to be one of the maps played here in this best-of-3 final.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they will be absolutely delighted that that's the case. They're a kind of a team that haven't really been playing much recently. Of course, Numlocked into his League of Legends. The team are waiting to play Overwatch as well. They're not a team that's fully dedicated to this, but they have some fantastic players on the roster and a great amount of synergy, so they're able to make it work even without practicing all the time and making sure that they've got every little facet of the gameplay down. But that really does open it up, and Reason are a team that are looking phenomenal at the moment. They dispatched the team in the semi-final in 2 maps, and so they have a slightly better track record. They are #1 seed as well, Admirable, coming into this.
Yeah, they've got a lot of really intelligent players. Of course, you got kaidus there, team captain, but now they have Stark. And I say captain. Captain himself makes a lot of great decisions too. I need the server info though, Sideshow. I want to watch this game. I just want to talk about it.
Absolutely, yeah, we want to watch this. Just a reminder what these guys are playing for as well. These two teams are guaranteed $400 already, since they are in the second place, essentially. You know, whichever team loses is going to get $400 out of this, but what they're really playing for is the juicy $900 that you'll win for coming first here. Gratefully? What on earth am I talking about? I'm trying to say I'm very grateful to Razer for putting it up for us. That's I'm tripping over my words, but yeah, great. Razer are the sponsors for this tournament, and it's all being played through Razer Arena as well, which is a fantastic piece of, well, it's not really software, it's a website that automates everything, and it's just a dream to work with.
Nailed it, mate. Nailed it.
I gave him the sales pitch, you know. But it really was fantastic, and these we've had a 32-team cup that's whittled it down to the top 2 in Europe. I mean, these were the seeds, Admirable, #1 and #2. I think people expected both of these two teams to get here, but do you agree with the seeding coming into it? Do you think that Reason are the better team?
Well, it's hard to say, but like just the fact that they've been practicing more, and Epsilon are kind of an unknown quantity. I'm happy to see Reason as the #1 seed. I think we've gone live though. It's like 15 seconds into the game here. I've just arrived on STV.
Yeah, we have indeed. We're at our first mid. It is CP Gullywash. The second map is Badlands, and the decider here is Snakewater. But on this first mid, both of the teams playing it slightly more passive. Mike's taking a lot of damage. Is going to go down here. A big bomb in from Tech. Takes down Captain. But Ryzen's hunting on this lower area. He's coming in. He wants to find someone. Oh my god, he's gone huge!
Numlocked at the sticky trap there on the left-hand side. Just that tiny choke point. Caught Permzilla and Happy Cool immediately, then killed off kaidus. And Epsilon turned that middle around. Only Captain alive right now. He's just respawned. He's going to go up top on the battlements there. But not much he can do. He's giving his position away, spamming out that rocket. He's not going to go for the suicide play. They're going to regroup on last and try and use 6 players to counteract this huge uber disadvantage. They got Happy Cool on Pyro. Is he going to be able to do enough?
Well, they've got Stark now on Engineer as well, who's going to be running the Jag, and so he's going to be building that sentry up on the right-hand side very quickly. They've actually got Captain on Heavy as well. The triple off class. No. Yeah, the triple off class is coming in, and Happy Cool's going to be trying to block the Uber charge now, but it's only a level 1 sentry as well. Everybody's playing back by the spawn area, but this Uber is terrible from Epsilon. The Pyro stunted it a little bit, and then they just didn't want to commit. They saw all these off classes, they saw the Engineer, they saw the Heavy, they got scared, and now Permzilla's in a great position because he's got a 60% Uber advantage, and they're going to be wanting to push forwards with this. Epsilon not going to make it easy for them though, setting up outside, sticky traps above the doors, Scouts in a position to deny jumpers. But they have left Riverside open, and that's exactly where Captain and Permzilla are coming from.
Yeah, Numlocked is just holding Big Joe alone. He's got stickies on lower and main, but he's been forced out. Permzilla has that charge. Tech is just peeking here to see what's up. kaidus is going to discourage him with some stickies and a few cannonballs, trying to catch that double dunk. But Mike going down on the flank trades with Stark. Captain avenges him there, and it's 5-on-5. But Permzilla seems spooked. He doesn't want to push on that slim Uber advantage, and they're going to wait here. They're going to get 6 players up and make it a fair contest. But it is Uber versus Uber here on Gullywash, the map with only 2 choke points. This can be just a real grind sometimes. But
yeah, sometimes it can take a while. What I'm interested in just then, though, was that Epsilon completely let Reason take second for free with their Uber charge. Didn't force them or anything. Just sent Mike in, who was kind of hanging around behind the point. I think that's their plan now as well. Mike looks like he's getting ready to bomb through the choke point. He is playing Roman Soldier for Epsilon. They had a fancy with him on Pocket at the beginning, but he's going to try and make his way in. He's actually forced Permzilla. Perm's back was turned to him, and so he just had no idea where he was. And now they've used this Uber really badly here. In comes the Epsilon Uber. They're going to be leading it with both of the scouts there. A scout and a soldier. Tech's going to be leading in front of that, but he really hasn't got much damage done with it. He's found both of the soldiers. Can he pick them both off there? No, actually managed to find Rising, but Captain gets himself out of that situation. They've lost both the scouts as well, though, so this Uber has gone well here for Epsilon.
that was a really smart play. That setup from Epsilon was beautiful. We'll talk about it after this, because Shocky is in on the Permzilla as Mike cleans up Captain. Just lots of very weak players from Reason, but they get a respawn. We have a 3 there. Epsilon aren't committing to the point at all. They just want to farm these frags. Nox is dishing out the heals. Stark surfs up on a little rocket there, but manages to make it behind into the lobby. Shocky's really weak on the far side. Nox tries to connect the arrow but misses. It doesn't matter though. Tech's on the point, but Reason trying to block it. Somebody just needs to step on there, but Happy Cool, he's denying them. Captain on the respawn doesn't have full health here. He's being focused down, but Shocky just commits for the medic pick. Kills off Permzilla again, and Nox survives. He's just walking away here.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Flippy's
Captain and Havicool have 31 health between them. Epsilon, individual players just going absolutely ham there. Shocky just rinsing everybody as he ran into them. But the entirety of their team just didn't want to commit to a fight. They didn't want to actually play.
Stark has gone up top as Spy, getting information for his team. He sees they're not on Riverside, so they know that they're in the lobby. Stark using the cloak and dagger. He's just going to start walking forward here. Oh, gonna get cut down by Shocky immediately. The Uber comes in here from Epsilon. Mike and Tech walking forward, top right, but they're just feeding all the rockets to Happy Cool. He's reflecting them. Tech decides to play the point, but Captain drops down to deny it. Nox kills him off with a crossbow.
Can Shocky do this? Shocky absolutely can. He has the caliber to do this kind of thing, but this time just doesn't quite hit the shots onto Happy Cool as Pyro. And he's surely going to get cleaned up in this bottom area. There's no way kaidus is going to let him out. I just still want to go back to that previous push onto last for Epsilon there, because they felt like they wanted to keep Nox alive and have that Ubercharge advantage, and instead, so what they did was they didn't commit at all to the actual fight that was going on last. They dragged it out for so long. Eventually, Reason spawns come in again and again.
He kills off Happy Cool. He lands a rocket onto Rising. He's trying to connect the other one. Can't get that second frag, but does so much to shut down that Reason aggression. But
Stark's come all the way out as well. Stark's come out onto second and picked up the frag onto Tech there, and now he's taking a 1v1 versus Shocky. Shocky finally going to take him down, but the rest of Reason don't want to commit to this again. I feel like they really could have helped Stark out there. They have a huge Ubercharge advantage. I think they got scared by Flippy.
There was a really nice play like ages ago before that actual long fought out push on to last. Whenever Mike was standing in choke, it was so beautiful though, because like Epsilon combo faked like they were going to push big door, and Permzilla and kaidus all moved that way, and Mike knew that he had Permzilla's back was to him, so he was able to jump through choke just based off that feign from Nox and the combo. I wanted to call out at the time, but the fight took so long, but it was like excellently worked. Yeah,
it was such a well coordinated thing, and when Tech's not expecting someone just to bust through the choke point right in front of him, it was actually him that was sorry, not Tech, Rising. Right now, Rising was holding the choke, and he's not expecting a soldier just to kind of fly through it there. Rising's actually only on 3 HP there, holding, and they're working Flippy into a position where he's going to try and get an angle. He saw kaidus' head there just for a split second, but isn't able to land a shot. He's just going to be rotating around. He's favouring this riverside angle, but he just can't find a good shot onto somebody's head. Oh, Tech dies to the double donk as well, so that's going to set Epsilon back a little bit. Are they going to take up more passive positioning, or are they confident to hold this even with the sniper?
Looks like Flippy's backing out at least. He's not going to get himself caught out at close range, wants to make full use of that headshot, man. But Raisin, they're not really taking the bait here. They're just trying to find a few more frags. Stark onto Mike is going to give them the confidence to push out. kaidus looks like he wants to move forward in Riverside, but Stark's already there getting them that intel. He sees 4 players in front of him. He's trying to go in here onto Nox, gets him down to 50, but nobody's there to follow up, and that's going to shut down any thoughts that Reason had of moving forward. They're going to sit back here. You might have heard that Tech is playing heavy as well. They're also still aware of that flippy sniper, but they themselves are currently rocking the cookie cutter setup. Let's see if Stark wants to off-class on the respawn here, but I mean, this heavy could be deadly on the repush once the Uber is taken out of the equation.
I think what they're going to wait for as well is Flippy to get a pick of any kind. They'll go in, trade the Ubers and repush with Tech, and they'll just open things up for Flippy to be hitting headshots in another area of the map as well. It's a nice little combination, because even if they lose players here, they can still hold with that with the heavy and the sniper. The only problem is if they do something disastrous, like if Nox drops here, they're really bad, because they're going to lose multiple. Great double donk there, well timed, perfectly executed from kaidus. Catches Flippy, and that's how you deny a sniper on Gullywash last. Brilliant stuff from him, and that completely shuts Epsilon's play out. I would imagine he's going to respawn on sniper once again, unless they're just favouring trading the Uber charges and coming back in with the heavy. I mean, that can also work out on its own. He is actually going to respawn on scout, so they're just going to be trading the Ubers here, following back in with Tech. But I feel like they're putting all their eggs in one basket, and it's a basket that Reason know that they have. I mean, that's a bit of a twisted analogy, but you know you know what I mean. They know that they have this heavy on the board. Oh my goodness,
that double dunk. It launches him forward. Shock's actually running through sneaky here. He's in the shadow area. Rising puts a rocket in him, but then turns his back. Shocky gets half the point capped. Flippy was thinking of coming in from Riverside, but he's decided to retreat. Like, the Epsilon combo is all the way outside here. They're not even close in lobby. They want people to push at their fully buffed heavy. Still, both medics holding on to an Uber charge. Chucky's just about to get back on the field here to give them 6 players once again. And Stark is going to engineer here. Do they want an insurance policy here when they push?
Have you seen what Rising's actually really deep in? Yeah, I don't think they're going to push. I think Reason are the kind of team that are perfectly comfortable, just sat back, playing this slowly. This really is more Reason's territory than Epsilon's, to be honest. Reason are the team that are comfortable slowing things down like this. I mean, Nox can do it perfectly well as well, and they have this heavy to work with. But they're kind of stuck with the heavy a little more than Reason are. Reason can freely change their classes around. They're right next to the spawn doors. Epsilon committed to the play, and here comes the play. Numlocked leading the Uber charge in. They've actually taken Tech in the Uber, which I don't understand whatsoever. It's going to allow kaidus to have a much better Uber charge, and they took so many people in that Flippy is dropped. And now here comes the opportunity for a repush, or at least a little prod. The very least that Reason can do here is poke some players in, see if they can get a pick of their own. But they might just opt to hold last. They are playing this very passively. We could be in for a slow tactical chess game rather than a match of TF2 here at Admirable.
Yeah, and we saw the power of the loose cannon as well. They're just juggling players back, really shutting down that Uber.
The double spy! No, Hafikul's just checking. Hafikul is checking the sniper, perhaps? But instead he's going to find that Flippy is playing spy. I don't think he's going to know that Flippy's spy, but he's going to know that Flippy isn't sniper. So when Flippy pokes himself as a friendly sniper here, the jig is going to be up. Oh, he actually just spams it anyway. He gets a headshot.
Was that Permzilla?
That was on Permzilla, yeah, and then he picked up the health kit, so he's still on 90 health, but Shocky's going to go in for the force along with Mike, and they're going to be able to find it. Do they lose these players? This is crucial. No, Shocky actually manages to get out, so this is perfect here for Epsilon. Even though they have that spy and the heavy, they have a full Uber advantage. They should be able to make something happen. Maybe with Flippy tempting the point.
Yeah, he's working his way under. I think Rising has seen him. He's got the dead ringer though. He actually managed to get the backstab on the captain just before he actually gets killed off there. And Permzilla is trying to decide what to do. He's looking to heal Rising and Happy Kill at the same time here. They're just looking to buy a few seconds for these spawns to come up. Epsilon are about to commit. Mike is jumping in deep at Happy Kill. It's just stunning him in the air there. Sets up the frag for Rising. And he just killed off Tech as well. So now, finally, Reason moving forward. Numlocked goes down to Happy Kill. He's been unleashed. They see Flippy backing off through Big Door. I think they've accounted for all the players here and they're confident it's finally time to move out from last.
It is, and Epsilon executed that so badly, so poorly with the heavy. They should have used the use the Uber advantage to push all the way in, make some room, and then repush with the heavy, or have the heavy come in afterwards and just keep doing damage from the back. Instead, they actually walked in with the heavy and tried to use him in the Uber charge. And Reason are dropping players as they come in here. Permzilla's dropped Captain, but here comes the Uber trade on mid. Hafikul's stuck as well.
He's gonna jump up with the basher, but gets cleaned up by Tech's rocket. Starkey does find that frag onto Tech though, and Pocket and Demoman down right now for Epsilon, but still Reason are reluctant to push. Mike's gonna come in, just get some information here. Captain jumps up above, but not sure what Reason are waiting for, but they've decided to wait nevertheless.
Yeah, that was very strange. They've got a Demoman down and the Pocket, and they don't decide to push in through a choke point. I mean, I think that's a big misplay. It's an opportunity missed there from Reason completely.
Sideshow, I know we're like incredible casters, but I do believe we have team comms. Who would you like to hear?
Let's have a listen to Epsilon, because I think they're going to be the ones making the plays here.
Here we go.
I got burned by his swing weapon!
Okay, stay back, stay back.
Sale fils de pute!
Everyone back, it's fine, Tech. I'm coming choke close with Mikey. I stay close, choke if they're pushing. We have you behind, Stefan?
I'm watching.
I'm sticking a big door somewhere.
Yeah, he's sticking the big door.
I'm being by 10 guys behind. Like they have 2 people on me.
Okay, let's go for force Mike.
Let's go choke, please.
Yeah, let's go choke for force Mike. No. Stay back, man. Stay back.
I'm done.
We lost 2. 100. We need 2 mono Uber there. We need 2 mono Uber. You stay back, 7.
Still watching Victor.
Just be ready to kill them.
Let's go, Victor.
I think big door. Go mono, big door. Go mono, big door.
They're all big door, all big door.
Who's choke?
These comms are clearly out of sync. I'm gonna shut that down.
Yeah, that's strange. I mean, they're only out of sync by a small amount, though, I think, because Flippy did call that he was behind, and then he called that he was down. I mean, I think they're about 15 seconds out of sync or something. It's really strange. But we got a little hint there. They're taking the mono big door, as Nox was saying, and Tech is trying to take that on big door. He's managed to get a slightly better Uber charge here. Perm may get locked in as well. He's actually found the frag on kaidus. He needs the rest of his team to help him, though. Tech isn't going to be able to do much just on his own. Sat there. Shocky comes in. The cavalry has arrived. Takes down Rising. Dispatches Captain as well. And Stark's kind of stuck out on top here. See what little mischief Stark can get up to. He's just kind of delaying the cap a little bit, just focusing all the attention onto him, dancing around, playing from health kit to health kit, but he's just trying to draw somebody back, inviting them backwards so that he can buy some time for his team to set up on last. Wow, he survived for so long there, but does eventually go down.
The long runs the fox. Now he is caught. We're going to see Nox moving in with Mike. They're going to send Mike in for the bomb here. He whiffs it though and gets obliterated, but oh, he's actually still alive. I thought he was dead. He managed to go into the shadow there, then jumps up onto Perm. Perm survives on like 85 health. That was close, but no cigar. And luckily, with our outlines, I can tell you that the entirety of Epsilon are all the way back on second.
The same cannot be said for Stark, though, who is all the way up at choke. Oh, but Mike spotted him. I think he didn't realize that Mike would be taking the rollout to choke there. He was waiting behind for a play onto Nox. And now he's just firmly, deeply behind the Epsilon team, harassing people from behind. Shocky and Mike are going to go back for him, but I don't think this really sets anything up for Reason to use. They are not going to push out from last just based on the fact that Stark's drawn 2 players behind, so Stark really has to come up with some magic here. Mike's hiding. Mike and Shocky both kind of just set up to pincer Stark in, but I don't know whether they're quite going to be able to get him.
Full tilt, and TLR have claimed $100 apiece, but there are currently 1,300 at stake here. 900 for first, 400 for second in this best of 3. Map 1 is still 0-0. 13 minutes left. Tech's coming in. He's going to take the single Uber and ends up getting the pop out pretty much immediately. Nox is going to be able to escape here, and now with the Ubers out of the equation, Epsilon sent things up for the repush. Tech goes in underneath. He's trying to contest Rising, but as just really distracting for Mike here. Mike jumps in on the left, Tech follows up. They managed to isolate Captain. Stark finds Numlocked though, but Reason find themselves with only Permzilla alive. Totally bamboozled there by Epsilon. They didn't know where to look when that repush came in. The soldiers doing so much distraction work, but the follow-up was on point. And Epsilon just engineering those frags and setting up that cap. That was beautiful. Why didn't they just do that the first time?
Yeah, that worked out so well for them. Epsilon just completely outplayed them there on that last push. But that round took so long. That was a 17-minute round there. We won't get another one that length fit into the map. So now the tempo has to increase. Reason and Epsilon face it off on their second mid-fight. Mike gets slammed down onto the ground with 2 HP. Rising and Mike both down. That's both the roaming soldiers, and the scouts are really weak here for Epsilon. Flippy and Shocky both going down to the pocket soldier there of Captain, and Hafikul and Starker on the flank. They look like they want to try and take down Nox. They're trying to get onto them. kaidus is bombing in as well, and the Ubercharge is actually forced there. Permzilla is just hanging out, but only has 90% actually. No pressure going to be applied to him, and Nox does manage to get out here, but it's a full Ubercharge advantage for Reason Gaming.
Yeah, I think Epsilon will be more than happy to just have popped off there. They were about to get wiped. Luckily they had that charge up. They saved themselves, and now they're just trying to stall out as much time as possible. It is like 30 seconds before they're going to have their own charge up. They just need a little bit of time. It's probably not going to happen. They're going to have to try and pull out the gimmicks. Shocky's going to snipe Flippy on Pyro, and Mike is about to respawn. Will he stay soldier? I'd like to think so. He trusts himself. He's not going to off-class as heavy like Captain.
Looks like it's going to be a scout and soldier Uber in from Riverside. Hafikul and Captain trying to come forwards. The rockets are going to be reflected. It's up to Hafikul to try and take down this Pyro, and he's not managing to do it. kaidus comes in to help out his comrade, but Nox is on 99%, is going to have the Ubercharge, saves Tech on 5 HP, and they are going to be able to repel this Reason push. There could be a counter push here though. Flippy and Mike both down. Opens things up, and there the kaidus onto the point, takes down Numlocked as well. So much cap time, everybody flooding down onto the point there. Hafikul and Stark surely going to be able to clean things up. It's only Nox and Flippy stood there. Flippy's getting the shots out. It's a Flippy and a 1v2. All he has to do is delay for Mike. Oh my god, Mike is going to be able to block that. That's insane from Flippy. No, Hafikul actually finding the frag.
Well. How is it that Flippy is still on full health? I know it made a little bit of a buff there, but
what a beef from Stark and Hafikul. What a beef.
Took City. Oh my god, they're both about to spawn now. Stark's going to go sniper. Hafi likely to stay scout to protect Permzilla. But they are going to be trying to work that pick with Stark. It's pretty much neck and neck in terms of the Ubers, no real advantage. Numlock was holding forward, he gets a sticky, so now we see Stark moving forward on main. Is anyone going to be predicting this? First shot gets popped off, now they know about the threat, but he didn't manage to get a pick. Senses the soldier coming up, man. Stark's spider sense. He knows what's up. They're just looking for any pick right now. They don't even care if it's Nox, any frag. And they'll be good to go.
Look at this Uber advantage. It's quite sizable, to be honest. I'm not sure whether Nox knows about it. It's at least 15%, perhaps even 20%, and Reason have actually transitioned outside. I think they knew that they had the Uber disadvantage as well. It's actually evened itself out as they come up to the Uber, but there was definitely potential for them to get caught in lobby, so they wisely back out outside. Stark still running that sniper, and he's really far forward compared to the rest of his team. He's surely going to get picked. I mean, that's really poor play from either Stark or the rest of his team. Miscommunication. One of them doesn't know where to stand.
Shocky has the level 3 sentry built. He's going to position it so it covers the point, and that's going to give them that 7th man as they push out here. That little insurance policy. Tech and Nox popping off charge, but kaidus is just able to jump away. Definitely floating through there on those stickies, and Tech is indeed. Tech's going to get him though! Starky was there to try and help him out. Does eventually kill off Tech, but with kaidus down, there's a lot of spam damage missing here for Reason Gaming, but somehow they're making it work. They managed to stuff them back into the lobby there. Permzilla still has this Uber as well. He managed to weather that storm and engineer a huge advantage for his team.
Yeah, that worked well, but really the Epsilon Uber was kind of just blind. They didn't see where Perm was. There was no chance of getting a force. Stark with the crucial dispenser pick, but does actually die in return. Mike's really far forwards though. And generally those kind of traits favour the attacking team. You need all 6 players up to repel an Uber push coming into last, and here it comes through the top right hand side. They got the Pyro and the Sentry to deal with though. They do actually find the Sentry gun from Shocky. Shocky's just going to switch spawn and going to be able to push out. They've locked Permzilla in as well, so no heals on the board here for Reason. 8 minutes left and they're losing 1-0, and Captain in with a phenomenal bomb finds KnoXxX, and that's heals down for Epsilon. And now Reason are actually going to commit to this. kaidus coming in, trying to dish out damage to everybody he can find. Mike, Shocky, all taken down by Stark there, and he's now in a 1v1. No! Unbelievable tech bombing in again, and this point just isn't capable, Admirable.
He shall not pass. Rising had done such a great job throughout that whole push. He was the guy who turned the heads initially to allow Captain to come in there, but he had just survived throughout that fight, spamming rockets on the point, and just at the point he thought he'd done his work, his job was done, Tech comes in and denies him. But Numlocked going to get gibbed there on the roller door. Tech, Shocky and Flippy are all isolated from KnoXxX's heals. Reason are going to have a field day here. Shocky's trying to rush in onto Captain. He's going to be able to trade that frag, but still it's a 3-man advantage. Reason are raring to go. They don't have charge, but they have the numbers. kaidus tries to jump through, but the pre-fired rocket from Mike stuns him. Starks ran onto the point here, but he realises he's not going to be able to cap in time, but he sets up the distraction for Happy-Cool, kills off Numlocked. Back-to-back Demoman deaths there.
Oh my god, KnoXxX got the swing as well. KnoXxX got a saw, and they're going to be able to get the Uber charge as well. Actually, KnoXxX didn't even need to pop it off. He was so intent on getting the Uber saw that he didn't realise his team had actually managed to hold off the push anyway, so he could have saved that Uber. Nonetheless, he does pop it off, and now they're left with a pretty severe disadvantage. Reason look like they are going to be the team to push this one forwards, and I believe the team comms are fixed, so let's have a listen to Reason's comms and see what they want to do with this Uber charge. Oh, they aren't. They aren't. DavidTheWin calling the halt on that one. So let's just cancel what's going on as Reason look like they want to push from this big door area. Admirable. Oh, so much damage! What is this position from Epsilon? They're managing to get out with the bulk of their team, but those two frags there, just those two players so far forwards.
Keep going, nerds. You've got this. Oh, he's sitting rising into his death. Captain, in fact, sorry, following up there. But kaidus is committed now. Permzilla is like, uh-oh. This is turning into a car crash. He's going to retreat. 2 spawns coming in for Epsi, and they have that Uber charge. So Reason realising it's time to retreat. But if they just pushed, like, if they hadn't hesitated for that moment in the lobby, they could have gone in and really put the pressure on KnoXxX. Probably got the frag. He didn't have the charge then, but now it's ended in catastrophe. They're going to have to retreat, and they're about to face a big Uber advantage push from Epsi. Although they're just stacking the point. I think they're scared of the back cap.
I absolutely think they should have just committed to that, because even if you wipe, like, you're going to kill so many people that you're going to be able to block with the respawners, and you're going to be in a position to defend mid. As they are now, they kind of have to give it up, because oh no, they've got Stark in behind, and he's buying enough time for Permzilla to get the Uber charge actually, so KnoXxX isn't going to be able to use this Uber advantage forwards. Stark is just delaying them for so long, doing the thing that KnoXxX kind of famous for, and Stark plays so well in this Reason team. Is just, oh my god, how does he trade for Mike? How does he get that frag? In the meantime, the Ubers are traded to Choke, and Captain's managed to take down Flippy as well, so this is looking great here for Reason, as long as they commit to the fight.
There we have it, guys. The question has been answered. What's the better class, Soda or Scout? It's a dead tie. The two best in class here in Europe, Mike and Stark, end up just trading there in a fair fight, but Reason again taking control of Epsilon second. They're setting themselves up with an opportunity to push last, but we've seen them fail like 4 times already. There's only 4 minutes 30 seconds left on the clock. They need to make something happen, but kaidus is all alone in the lobby there. He's gonna go down. Rising was just about to spawn, but kaidus continues to give Epsilon the man advantage here. Is it the reverse pick? Are they just hoping Epsilon push? Do they have a master plan? Happy kills on the balcony.
Oh,
he's gonna win the 1v1 with Flippy. He's
he
going
picked
for
up
last.
the health kit, the dirty cheater, and now Happy goes into last, but he's scared of Tech. He's not really willing to take that 1v1, and instead he's going to collapse on people, trying to help out the rest of his team as they frag the Epsilon players. KnoXxX is going to have the Uber for last. This is going to be Uber v Uber, but Numlocked doesn't get spawned for a few seconds. It's going to be difficult to pop them, and Mike doesn't get it for another 7. So here we go, better Uber charge coming out from Epsilon. Reason forced to retreat a little bit. Oh, and they find the frag on Stark as well. That's crucial. They're going to be able to hold on here. 3 minutes, 42 seconds remaining. The score is still 1-0 to Epsilon. Oh, but kaidus goes down as well. This opens the door a little bit for an Epsilon push. Is that what they're planning? Let's have a listen to the team comms, find out.
Falling out top. 3 of them falling out top.
Yeah, we need someone with Recite to pressure the top.
Someone above me. I'm gonna take him.
Yeah, they're all dying. Back.
Yeah, so
Back out, Flippy.
Last again.
I'm dying immediately to like soldiers or scouts hiding constantly.
Left, they're pushing.
They're pushing left, pushing left. Focus
Focus
soldier,
slowly.
Weak.
Come back.
Oh, Mike!
Nice job,
nice.
No.
Can we push as soon as spawn?
Scoot weak.
They have a sniper, they're 2 down.
We need to push. Yeah, we need to push.
I'm pushing basement.
Demon's sticking top right, Demon's sticking careful.
Go Shocky, I'm on last.
No stick.
Okay, I'm pushing Roma side.
I got you, bro.
Looks clear.
It's a quad, bro.
Sniper
We need to
top,
push them.
sniper. Back in it.
You're on your own tech.
Demo weak.
Okay.
I'm not
Weak.
Just bro.
Scoot
Oh
on
shit.
demo weak.
Scoot on demo weak. Kill
Sniper
them.
is 100. Sniper is 100.
Demo is weak, choke.
I'm going for the point.
Sniper behind rock at ammo. He's weak.
I'm going.
Fabi, bro.
Cap.
Fabi, set
Oh, we
Fabi.
have to cap.
Cap.
Nice.
Push the other way,
Pushing too
push the other
fast
way,
then.
push the other way.
Up there.
They've lost
Go
soldier,
fight,
they've lost soldier.
only
We can
two,
fight
go.
this, we can fight this.
Yeah, fight this.
Just Demo. Demo's weak.
161 demo.
Kill demo.
He's weak.
Nice.
Nice
Oh,
job,
you-
Get scouts.
Mad is big door with scouts.
Let's
They're
go,
spawning in
Victor,
4.
Victor, watch out.
Well, admirable. A bit of momentum built up there.
Permzilla decides to leave kaidus and he survived here. He's getting pressured though by Mike. He's going to meet up with Captain and Happy Cool and Chuck. Mike jumping out towards Big Door just about survives there, but I think that's crucial that they've engineered this 20% advantage. It's a pretty slim one, like, but if they keep moving forward and keep building that charge, they're going to have a real opportunity to claim this one round. 2 minutes left on the clock. It's now or never, Reason. They're going to cap second again. How many times have they claimed that point? But look who's waiting for them on Riverside. MGEMike with the chance to clutch it for his team. Is anyone going to check this corner? Captain's walking forward.
Captain.
He's
Captain's
looking the wrong way.
Oh my god, nobody has. And Mike takes the opportunity. Mike just getting... Oh, he just waited a little too long. He got so scared because Captain just kept walking past again and again. And in comes the Uber charge. They're going to find Shocky as well. Surely Shocky's movement isn't going to be able to get out from that. No way. Oh no, it does actually fall in the end. A reflect kill onto Happy Cool as well. And... so far they've been beaten off this Reason defense, but the 2 rockets in, 3 rockets, and down goes Nox. And now with no Uber on last, they have an opportunity perhaps with this last minute left. Permzilla is out. They're going to have another Uber charge to work with, but Epsilon are going to be trying to stack this second point in an attempt to not even allow them onto last.
They have to go before they get the charge. They can't wait for it. Captain is going to go in though. He's pushing Numlocked back at least, but Mike and Flippy are going to secure that cap. Mike is now above Choke, just waiting for anyone to walk through. Stark is looking a little hesitant. He's going to come in. Mike's still waiting there. He's playing the long con. MGEMike. Now he's going to come in and block the cap. Lands 1 rocket onto Stark. Ends up sucking out against Happy Cool. Miscalculated that one, and Permzilla is looking to edge his way forward. Captain jumps in, but the sentry gun has been spotted out. He's now stuck in shadow. He's trying to go against the pyro, but that didn't end well for him. Flippy with another reflect. And Reason currently 3 down, only 10 seconds on the clock. kaidus knows it's time for the desperate play. Stark trying to run onto the point, but Epsilon are just parking the bus. 4 players on there, including a pyro, and the wipe comes in. Epsilon defend their 1-0 lead to make it a 1-0 lead in this series.
That's actually insane. A 1-0 game between Epsilon and Reason. I mean, that's phenomenal. How much closer could it get? I mean, Reason was so close to tying it up. About 100 times they pushed that last. I mean, that's not even that much of an exaggeration. They must have pushed last at least, what, 10 times maybe?
100?
100 times. But it just never worked for them, and then not a single time. And Epsilon had a few beef pushes onto last themselves, and I feel like it really wasn't like great defense coming out from the teams. They just weren't coordinated on the last pushes. Sometimes they just weren't able to make anything work, and it just came down to like the final tiny little bit where there's 2 scouts that just miss one crucial shot, and then a respawner comes in and jumps the point. They were so close to drawing that up so many times, but Epsilon holds steady, and 1-0. That's almost unbelievable that it was that close and that low scoring.
I'm gonna count it for you here in the logs. The number of times that Red captured point 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the after the first cap. After that first round,
that's
5
only,
times.
That's only 5 times, though, that Epsilon managed to successfully push out and recap as well.
Mhm.
There was multiple times where Reason came and blocked the cap and then pushed last a few times and failed. There was multiple times where Epsilon didn't even push out. So, I mean, the amount of times they literally pushed last must have been in the double digits. I mean, that's a ridiculously bad success rate there for Reason. Let's have a look at the logs then of the game and see if it tells a story. kaidus playing pretty well in terms of damage, just pumping out the damage again and again, outplaying Numlocked, who seems to have died quite a lot, given that they were kind of pushed back to their last for a fair amount of the game. He really didn't have the kills impact in relation to how many deaths he was having. So he said, actually, when we went to the comms a few times, that every time they tried to push out from last, he was just getting fragged by somebody hiding in lobby. So he perhaps not having the game that he would have liked, but just such a back and forth game. Mike doing phenomenal work on Roma as usual.
As you would expect. But yeah, it's the team stats, like Reason end up doing 3k more damage but have 5 less frags. Just couldn't break them down on last. 3 more Uber charges for KnoXxX as well, but the heal rates were pretty good for both medics. Over 30,000 heals put out throughout 30 minutes played there. Just trying to, you know, figure out what exactly was going wrong. Like, Mike ends up dying the most, but does so much work for his team. Not really anyone who seems to be underperforming. It was just coming down to those executions and those spawns. The spawns, man.
Neither team really wanted to commit to it, right? Because they got in a situation where they're pushing last, and one of the first frags is the medic. And so they know that they have an Uber advantage, even if the push goes badly. And both of these teams, because it's so close, are very reluctant to then fully commit to the push, because they want that the cushion, you know? The fact that if they fail, they need to keep their medic alive. So they don't want to commit the heals to it. They don't want to commit a pocket to it, or whoever happens to be defending the medic. We saw that a few times.
Not
from
just
both
like
teams,
Permzilla, but also KnoXxX running away and not committing for that last push a lot of the time.
Absolutely. And it really hurt them as well, because there were so many times, must have been at least 4 times, when the point was just a milliseconds away from capping and a soldier flies in and blocks it. I mean, just those kind of clutch situations, it all does come down to like whether you fully commit to a push or not. And I can understand them playing really safe, because I mean there's a lot of money on the line here. This is a really important game for them, but it's Epsilon that walk away with the first map, and that might be a surprise to some people. I didn't really peg them for coming out with a dominant victory. I mean, that wasn't dominant by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think they'll be able to take it in 2 maps. I think Reason are going to come back with a reply. They're going to fix some things, but it's so close between these 2 teams. It's everything you could have wished for season 22 Admirable.
Yeah, I mean, just those last pushes, it must have been quite frustrating for a Reason to see it happen time and time again like that. Like a team that kind of prides themselves and like being well organized, but a bit cerebral in their play, you know, trying to outsmart their opponents, that they just couldn't seem to crack that defense. Part of it was luck, yeah, but I do feel like maybe if Permzilla committed once or twice, gone in and tried to like get involved in that last fight, maybe things would have ended up differently. But at the same time, his play is what kept the scores close. Anyway, let's not talk about that previous map anymore. It's over. It is Badlands right now, and the pressure is on Reason here. Like, think back to your official against them. They sat back on a 1-round lead and managed to turn it into a 5-0 game, but against Epsilon, they're already a map down in the series. Are they going to be able to play that way, or will it be a different Reason we see here, a different play style?
Yeah, we actually played against them. I was playing in the semi-final, and we played Badlands. That was our first map. It went to a golden cap between Reason and Full Tilt. They won the golden cap, but their mids were a little shaky at times. It's they do play very passively on Badlands, but they aren't the same team that we saw in that official. They have been playing much more aggressively. Even though they're still playing fairly passively, they're still giving teams a lot of respect. They are playing much more aggressively. They're sending Stark behind. They're playing Rising in for plays. So we're not going to be seeing that ultra passive play on Badlands that we have previously seen from Reason Gaming. It's going to be a kind of tempered mixture of the two. They're going to be sending Stark behind through the drop down a few times, trying to make plays through resup in any event of a stalemate. They're going to be bombing Rising round, these kind of things. They're not going to wait constantly on Epsilon to make mistakes, because although they are in that kind of stage where they're still making mistakes, Epsilon, they're still making quite a few of them. They're not really playing that loose. They're still a fairly well coordinated team, and it's not something that Reason can really do, especially if they go a round down like they did on Gully Wash. They just had no room to play passively. They were forced constantly to be pushing forwards and attempting to push Epsilon's last because they were at that round disadvantage.
Currently, you're not just commentating on the Premiership Sideshow, you are living and breathing it. So I'm curious, do you think Reason have what it takes to tie this series up? Is Badlands a map that favours them, or would you be backing Epsilon here?
I thought this map of the two that they were playing at the beginning of Gullywash and Badlands, I thought that Epsilon had more of a chance on Badlands. Actually, I think Badlands is the kind of map that every mixed team can play, and Epsilon really are a mixed team at the moment, essentially, because they've only played together a handful of times. Like, they really have only played a handful of maps together as a team. They really haven't played with Tech very often. Some of the team haven't played with Flippy as much. You know, Numlock's just coming back, so is Shocky. So although these are players who have a lot of synergy with other individual partners on the team, and you can put them together as like groups of 3, groups of 2, groups of 4 even, that have played on teams before. As a team, they're not really as well honed and well rounded as even Reason, who have been practicing together for quite some time. But on Badlands, all that just flies out the window. Everyone knows how to play Badlands. Everyone's positioning is on point, and I think we're going to see Epsilon with some strong middles. What Reason like to do is kind of play up slope and have both of their scouts there ready for any aggression. So if Epsilon tries some aggressive middles, I think Reason are going to counter it very well. But if Epsilon just play point control and position, and they're just trying to send some players behind to distract and pull Reason out of the mid fight, then I think we're going to see Epsilon take the mids quite handily and maybe be able to push that back.
In the semi-final, like, Epsilon were losing the majority of the mids on Badlands and Snakewar, even though they smashed Badlands, like, what was it, 5-1? They only won like 3 out of 7 mids. Like, I didn't think they were incredibly strong here. It could be, maybe that was part of the problem in Gullywash. If Reason had just like lost the second round and gone and played more mid fights, they might have had more luck. But
well, they did win that second mid fight. They won it quite convincingly. They just weren't able to convert it into a round. But I think the key thing to remember when you're comparing like how Epsilon are playing against TLR and how Epsilon are playing against Reason is that Reason and TLR are like polar opposites of teams. They really are. Like, Reason play super passively, they're super tight, and on mid fights they prefer to slowly move forwards across the point, keep the heals on both of the scouts, and try and completely eat up any aggression that they give to you. TLR on the other hand, Ams just bombs in as deep as he can every single mid fight, and Concrete, he's going to be screaming for all of his team to follow it up. They are honestly polar opposites, and so although Epsilon might have crumbled a little bit to the double soldier aggression, we'll see how they handle the slower mid fights from Reason as we go into our first mid right now. Admirable.
I'm watching Captain try and shepherd Permzilla up the slope, and he catches both Epsilon soldiers on his train, lands a nice rocket to send them packing, but Nox is just sitting there around the shithouse. But Reason have just backed off towards their own choke. They're playing heals on their train, and they have dealt with the Epsilon aggressors pretty much immediately. Only Rising goes down kind of after the fact, but Epsilon losing 3 in that fight. They send Stark forward. He tries to go heroic, but Flippy denies him with the scatter shots. Captain jumps forward, sees the Epsilon combo trying to come in to contest, choke a little bit, but they're not really going to commit to this. They're hanging back. Nox knows a bomb could be coming in soon. He doesn't even have his charge yet. He's just about to get 95 as Captain and Mike go toe to toe in the house with the heals, and the backup there favouring Mike. He's going to clean up Captain and start to move forward, but already Kaidus has the stickies in the house, and it's going to be Tech who takes the Uber. In fact, Nox has to pop off here, so Permzilla is
Perm dropped into Valley. What a dribbler! Oh,
the momentum is shut down.
Yeah, that's just ruined their Uber completely. Just with one click of the D key, he falls off Valley, and this is going to be a pause. Am I right? I haven't just like that.
Looks like it, mate.
Fantastic. Always better to have a pause rather than technical difficulties. But the mid fight as well. Just to go back to that while we have a little bit of time during the pause, the Epsilon did the classic mid that Reason are designed to kind of counter, and so they sent the double soldier aggression up on the top right hand side. They dealt with that, they knocked them back into Valley, and the rest of Epsilon got absolutely no position. So Nox is still sat in Valley, Numlocked is still sat in Valley, and they've got no position across the point. And that just allows Reason all the time in the world to sit back, heal up, and slowly push across. They're picking off people slowly, one by one, and they win the mid fight. Then by no means are they going to wipe Epsilon on these mids, but I think they're going to win quite a few of them just by being able to mop up this aggression. So Epsilon really need to change something for the next mid fight.
Yeah, that's like that's kind of passive shithouse play that Nox has been working. Even played it against TLR. It's kind of designed to shut down aggressive teams who want to give you the frags, but Reason too controlled for that and just sat back and waited until they had that man advantage. Then they had Starkey circling around. He tried to go all the way and get in onto Nox, but they'd already won the middle by the time he got cleaned up. But it is 0-0 here, and there's been about 2 minutes played. Nox sitting here on choke with Numlocked, Flippy, and Shocky, ready for some sort of aggression from Reason, but it seems like they're going to go house, or at least Permzilla's going to give Rising a buff here around the house. Captain's just coming back on the field, having previously lost that fight with Mike. But Reason, are they going to find this frag, or are they going to take this fight around Hunter? Mike's there. He's on half health. Tech isn't really that well buffed. If Rising gets the kit and just walks forward,
I get
could
the
we see a
feeling
pick here?
I get the feeling they think they have momentum because they had a much better Uber, but they didn't actually get anything with it. Epsilon are able to back out and they're able to set up the defense on around choke. Oh, here we go. We've gone live straight away. So here we go. We'll see whether they're going to take this fight. Kaidus is still just spamming stickies over at the choke point. Both of these soldiers getting buffed up, and it looks like we have gone to a reset. They haven't pushed things too far forwards. It's just going to be a little bit of spam for both teams. This is the kind of situation where I think we're going to see Reason play a little more aggressively than you would have seen in the official versus full tilt, and they're going to either bomb Rising round or really try and push somebody in, maybe get some spam with Kaidus, or push everybody through Resup and get Stark in to drop down.
Both teams showing each other a lot of respect. They're trying to set up some sort of big play here. Rising's going to go in, and he got deep onto Nox, but Nox didn't even have an Uber to pop. Rising dead for another 14 seconds here, but Epsilon likely to push or send summoning off the back of
potentially
this.
a counter sack. Yeah, Tech and Mike are moving through house now. It looks like oh, another pause.
Cheeky little pause, yes.
Delightful. Do enjoy a pause. So yeah, it looks like Tech and Mike are going to be moving into that house area. Potentially, I think, just for a counter sack. I don't think they're actually going to commit to this Uber charge, but maybe they are. The positioning from everybody on Reason Gaming is all forwards around this choke point, but this must be around the time as well. Oh, Mike's actually in. In comes Mike. He's in onto Permzilla. He's got Permzilla up to 12 health. Surely going to crate, and no! What a beautiful surf from Perm up onto the Hoodoo.
Kaidus with the double pipe just stunned Mike in the air. He was levitated there by back-to-back pipes, but Kaidus, walking forward out of the heal range of Permzilla, has ended up cratering to the damage from Numlock. So Demoman down, that's kind of free admission here, but Rising's waiting to bomb up. They're going to be looking for it. Tech actually sees him, and Rising is forced to jump back out, but Permzilla still has Uber here, of course. His teammates are super weak as he pops off. Kaidus still isn't on the field, he's just getting back into it. Epsilon know they've done damage, and they're going to try and move forward here, use their Uber to gain position. But the ninja vanished there from Reason. Everyone just disappears.
Yeah, really weak pop from Nox. Like he's there in the choke point with Mike. Everybody's full healed, and he just sees Captain in front of him with the tail end of the Uber, and they decide to use it in instead of just trying to milk it. I really would have liked Nox to try and milk it, hold on to it, and then be able to push Spire with the Uber charge, but instead they've popped that Uber. And now both of the teams are just building it up, seeing what they can get going. It's on about 60%. That means we've got another 10-15 seconds until both of the teams have the Uber, and either team is trying to make a play to really open things up. But now it's Epsilon in control of the mid, so we'll see how they opt to break this little bit of a stalemate.
Yeah, it's kind of a low risk play from Nox, not just because like he's popping when he doesn't need to, but also it keeps the Uber situation really close. So even though you never have a big advantage, you never have a big disadvantage either. They're kind of like grinding out here. They're just working forward, taking territory, and Nox, Tech, and Mike are trying to look for a pick in house. Tech is baiting out Rising a little bit, but Mike's coming in for the force. He's not even going to jump. He just walks around the corner, gets slammed though. Cratered into the ground there, chokeslammed by Rising. He gets credit for the frag anyway. And now Permzilla cracking the whip here, man. Trying to get his team to push forward through choke, but there's so much spam there still, even without Mike, Numlocked, and Tech, making it look like a daunting task there, Sideshow.
Yeah, and what an odd series of pauses we're getting here. Hopefully the teams realise that they only get 5 pauses per map. We're on the 3rd already. I assume this is the same team. DavidTheWin's given us the information that potentially Numlock's mum on Facebook that's causing the problems. Admirable, Numlock's mother on Facebook. We'll have to find her afterwards.
I'm not going to say anything.
Mrs. Barton. I'm sure there's a few, but
I'm not going to pick that low hanging fruit.
There's only one that looks like Sebastian. With Mike down, are Reason going to make a move here though? That's the real question.
Kratos has just subbed to teamfortress.tv, our Twitch channel here. I advise everyone to go and subscribe to Sideshow as well.
Wow.
Need to see some more Sideshow emotes. I want to see a wall of Sideshows in Twitch chat every second for the rest of this potentially 90-minute 2-hour cast.
What a dreadful, tortuous 2 hours that would be looking at the chat. Here we go. We are back live.
Sideshow's mangled face
against each other. Yeah.
That dude is.
Look at that! The sync double soldier spam there from Haunter takes down Rising there. Mike and Tech combining together, and it looks like they're going to Uber out. But Tech hasn't been caught in this Uber charge. Does actually find it now, but that's going to lead to a worse Uber from him. So Reason chase out the few remaining players. There is still a player down though.
Epsilon going to send everyone through the flank here, except for Mike, who peeks out from Hunter. Happycool spots him out though. But Permzilla going down to Shocky. They're trying to just take that bite to Epsilon in the valley though, but Nox is backing out. Now he's able to move forward with the heals. It's looking very grim right now for a reason. They're still finding frags, but Nox remains alive. He's got 66% charge. No one's even got enough health to try and contest him. Kaidus is trying to put a little bit of hurt onto these cappers, but they've got the heals still. Nox is going to be able to keep them alive. Kappas.
Yeah, they're going to be able to make their way up onto Spire. Nox has climbed already, just in case Kaidus has got a sneaky sticky trap on that on the upper area. I can see some of the players lagging around as well, so I guess that was what the pause was for. Numlocked is going to be taking this Uber through the top left, I think. Now it looks like Tech and Flippy, potentially Numlocked spamming from main at the same time. In comes the Uber charge from that top left hand side. Havical doing a decent job of reflecting things away, but look at that! The sticky's not even dead. I think Kaidus forgot about his mouse 2 button there, and the point just straight away capped. Epsilon 1-0 in the lead.
Again, and now Reason will be forced to dance to Epsilon's tune. I'm checking out the kaidus cam as he rolls out through house, going to pick up that kit and move to balcony. He's pre-firing his sticky. He sees Mike floating through the air, so he knows it's going to be a fast play onto the train, but Rising playing very passive. It's going to be Captain who tries to jump up and gets smashed in the face by a rocket from Tech. Shocky runs in to the Reason house. He's dancing. He was in onto kaidus as well, but now kaidus drops off the balcony but finds Mike there just waiting with a point-blank rocket directly into his face. Captain taking a lot of rockets here on balcony as well. Reason are trying to stay in and contest this middle, but just the spam there, the accurate spam from Tech and Mike, enough to discourage them.
Look at the Uber charge advantage. Look at the Uber charge advantage, Admirable. Nox should know that he has it as well, because Mike should call that Permzilla was disconnected from everybody for the entirety of that mid, and they are using the Uber charge advantage just to gain territory here. They've got themselves on top of Spire already. Starting the cap time is Flippy, and Tech's been caught in the Uber charge as well. Permzilla still doesn't quite have it. Yeah, he's going to be able to pop it off now. The captain's found the frag onto Shocky. This is going to be a very scrappy fight around Spire. Frag's being traded either way. Nice pipe from Kaidus to take down Tech. Oh, what a pipe! What a phenomenal pipe from Numlocked.
Nice catch.
Nice catch.
Oh, he just walked right back into that one, and Epsilon being positioned here on the jump pad. Just Nox stacking the heals on all his players. Permzilla trying to edge forward with Happycool, giving a little flash to Rising as well, but they're just spamming here. Nobody wants to commit. They don't want to give away that cheap frag that's just going to force Epsilon to press down on that accelerator and hammer home. Epsilon just going to back out here, in fact. They want to regroup. Nox not happy with his team's buff situation. Neither on middle. They actually still have an Uber advantage
again?
Maybe they've been fooled by Perm's constant spamming of the fake charge calls.
Yeah, Perm does have it bound to WASD, so he spams it constantly. So keeps Nox on his toes. He has to keep thinking about it. It's not going to be giving away any crits either. But both of these teams now in this kind of same situation. Let's have a listen to the reason team comes, I think, and we'll see how. Oh, there might still be ruined from the pause we hear. So we'll leave it a little bit.
They'll be all right. They'll be all right.
They'll be all right. You want to dive into them?
It's been a long time since the pause.
Let's dive into them then.
Good Eagle.
What's going behind? The flash.
Got Spire. I'm not
Spire.
Spawning now. Lucky can help them. I've reset in like 5 seconds.
They're in yard.
Okay, Sully's low Spire. I'm dead.
I'm left Spire.
Demo's 120 on the floor.
I
I
think
Sully's really low.
I'm in trash.
Scout's right. Fine.
Got it.
Sully on Spire. I'm in Scout.
I'm not on Spire anymore.
That? Coming Spire.
Sorry,
I'm not too weak.
Took 100 on Spire.
Scout half Spire.
Bro.
Coming Spire.
Somewhere.
Tagged.
He's on this point.
Piked.
Took Rocket again. I'm still in trash.
Scout looks 70.
Scout down, I'm down. Them on Spire. Nice. Can we recap? I can carry you guys.
Yeah, we can
Army
go.
again. Army again.
Someone's gonna be shooting.
Rising's no.
Rising, can you move, dude?
I'm not alive.
Oh, Captain.
I can kill. So just 200 and trash.
I'm gonna die, main. Please, I'm on ready. Keep running. Main on main.
Have fun. Come to me, lobby.
So clinical, and there's just no emotion there whatsoever. Are they feeling dejected, perhaps?
Resident sleeper, man. No passion in this team. Uh-oh. Flippy sneaks in from behind. Permzilla's looking forward as tech bombs in. And they get that med pick straight away and just steal another round right from under Reason's nose. But that fight on Spire was so protracted and drawn out, but just like the heals, the sort of blobbing from Epsilon seemed to be on in the fight. And then actually Shocky just dancing around, dodging all Rising's rockets on the Spire for so long. But we're on to another mid fight. It's a 2-round game here. Epsilon in the lead. Shocky's rushed up. Pocket. Permzilla's trying to run here, but his life is null and void. Starkey looking to avenge his fallen English brethren, but he's getting pressure out hard as the full force of Epsilon move through choke. Only Happycool remains alive. What can he do?
What can he do? I mean, he is stuck behind here. Nox and Numlocked and Tech are just going to be driving straight down main as well. They're going to completely ignore these players. Going to be playing for the point as well. Numlocked's actually sat on top. He's just going to be laying stickies down, inviting the players to come and deal with him. But that's a weird situation to be in. Captain jumps up to him and absolutely takes him down and takes his place there, sat on top of the point. I'm the king of the hill now, says Captain, and he's going to be holding that point along with Rising. Captain not going to be able to hold it for too long though, and that's Epsilon taking the 3rd round. It's starting to look like a little bit of a roll here. They're gathering momentum.
I might just order a pizza now, so I think this game's going to be over real quick. Come on, Reason, step it up.
Shall we have a listen?
Let's hear some passion in those hums.
They're not actually aggro, just not also clustered on our side. They went to 50 on bulk.
Scout shields. Yeah, they're going to. There's a
I'm jumping on the wall now. Sully might go. Sully also, I think. I'm in valley.
Sully also.
On that balcony. Scout's blocking me. Scout's tagged. I'm jumping on the wall.
Jumping that side.
Scout's valley.
Scout's dead.
Nice.
I'm on that train. Sully weak.
Almost weak. I'm chasing him.
Medic
100.
Nice, just them up. I'm on point.
Coming it.
Goes quite fast.
Do you see him?
They don't see him. Numlock's miles away. But
How did he see me?
the comms are still so quiet, so clean, but there's no emotion there, there's no hype, there's no energy. They're not getting back into this game. in terms of... Oh, look at Shocky! Shocky has actually been found there by Stark. He was tagged a little bit by some of the soldier spam. I think he's going to be angry at Mike for giving away his position there, but Stark's going to find that frag as well, so down goes the flank here for Epsilon, and they're surely going to be able to play it onto the point. No stickies on it either. Numlocked. kaidus is just going to sit in the same position that Numlocked was last time.
Big Captain!
Did Captain ruin them there as well? I see he's on a 4-kill streak.
Yeah, 2 important frags. Jumped up and killed off Tech, then Numlocked. But on that life, yeah, I think he had like 4 or 5 frags. He's now finally got his team on the board though. 2 rounds of difference, 16 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock as they go to the 5th middle. Sideshow, who we watching?
I'm going to be taking a look at Rising, who's going to be making his way into the house. He takes a bit of a rocket, munches one there, and it's going to be Tech going aggressive. They pinned kaidus into the house. Surely going to find that frag. Yeah, down goes the Neverman for Reason Gaming. Shocky's been pinned by Stark, and Stark finds that frag though, so it's 4 players here for Epsilon, neither of their scouts left alive. That to me signals it's time to leave. Great rocket from Mike onto Havical, but he has been flanked from Stark, and he's going to be calling to Knox that there's a scout on him. Knox needs to bail as quickly as he can, but Stark is on the hunt. He's going to come down through main. He's whiffing a few of the... Oh, he does actually land that final meat shot. Oh no! What incredible play from Stark. Turns around and 2 shots Mike as well. Can't find the frag on Shocky, but Ryzen will deliver that one for him, and we're looking like this might well go 3-2 here. Reason getting back into it.
Stark and Rising, so both of them picking up a 3k over that kind of long push from mid onwards. Uber in here from Permzilla, but the Flippy Pyro is doing a lot to stuff them back down main, but they still have that 2-man advantage. Numlocked has gone down to Happy Cool and Captain. kaidus is starting to sticky the point. They're walking forward, but he's getting pressured by Mike. He's on life support though from Permzilla. Stark's coming in, Captain's coming in, kaidus goes down. What can they do against this Pyro? Flippy switching between air blasts and flares is going to set up the frag onto Captain. Tech claims it. The French combo doing work, and Shocky's already moving on to the Spire here. They don't want to give Reason any time to get set up. Stark's going to move forward and try and take that fight. Happy Kill's waiting in the wings with the buff. Rising's here as well. They're really going to commit for this block. kaidus is just about to join. kaidus is just setting up a sticky trap, in fact. He's not even going to go forward and contest the Spire, but I really felt if he walked forward he could.
Yeah, they definitely could have, but they're scared of the Uber advantage, I think. They know that Perm was disconnected for a while. They don't want to commit to a fight that they're then going to get caught by an Uber, and there's a 10-second window of opportunity, but it's slowly ticking away. Let's have a look at the kaidus trap then.
It's on the
See if
barrel.
it's going to get anybody.
Looks
Surely
like
not.
Knox is going to go house,
No.
surely.
Maybe.
No.
Which way is it going to go? It's actually Captain. They look like they want to commit to this.
Oh, he dead his trap. Forget about it. But big multi-forced here. Lots of Epsilon players being flashed. Tech is only 100 health as the Uber fades. He's getting chased here. Mike is going to jump up and contest. Spire the Wind's air shot on the Captain, but doesn't claim the frag. Mike goes down. In fact, Crater's there. Stark doing work on Spire. Clean up Shocky, but Flippy's coming from behind. He's on to Permzilla. 2 shots gets into half health. Permzilla just drops off the edge though, and both scouts clean up. It looks like Reason are going to be able to retake control of that Spire. Permzilla wants to climb up, but Tech is going to bomb in. He's going for what? It's a sick direct onto Stark at close range. Stark survives on 7 because of a little buff he had, I think. Happy Cool's still trying to block the Spire, but Tech has huge balls, man. He just goes for those blocks. He doesn't care about scouts.
No, he's really phenomenal at dealing with scouts, actually. That's one of Tech's strongest points, is just being able to boss scouts around. And it's so difficult, actually, when you're a soldier and when you're running gunboats on that pocket roll, but he does it so well. Great direct shots. And Reason are feeling the pinch here, perhaps. They're really making a few fights happen that they previously wouldn't have done, and they've committed to this fight and dropped both their soldiers there from that Uber charge. That's not great, but they're still going to commit to it, actually. They do have a significantly better Uber. In goes kaidus, and he's going to go down, and that's going to signal everyone else from Reason getting out.
Knox survives under Grey Bridge on like 20 health. After kaidus bombed him, he had 40. And he just got grazed there by that scout. Happy Cool went in to try and claim that frag, but he survives. He's going to have a slight Uber advantage, but more importantly, they've taken this territory and they're back in control of the game. It's still 3-1 in favour of Epsilon. About 13 minutes to be played. Captain is getting juggled up there. He's going to land with a crunch. He's going to be dead for another 15 seconds. kaidus is trying to spam onto the Spire. He's been forced towards his own race up though. There's a back cap happening. They wanted to try and block that, but Epsilon just stacked the point. Rising tries to go in, but just gets shunted away. kaidus goes down late as well, and they might have just gifted Epsilon another round here.
I think they have. Permzilla is on 11 HP as well, hanging around behind the point. Shockey's in, onto the point. Captain and Stark both go down to a rocket from Tech, and it is 4-1. There's 12 minutes remaining here. Reason came and it looked like they were coming back into it, but one more failed last push and another failed defense of second. And now it's not looking so good. Epsilon looking like they're coming back into this with force. Let's have a listen to their comms on this mid.
Demon's back training. He took sticky. Soldier out train aggressive.
Let's go cheetahs.
Soldier took sticky out train. You drop down.
They're going slow, maybe.
I'll stop.
They're going their side.
Soldier.
They're going their side.
Soldier is tagged.
I will just go. Everyone out.
Get out, get out.
Everyone.
Let's go Twig.
Just go back,
leave tech,
just go
just
back,
leave
Joel. Please, please, please.
Leave fast. Leave fast.
Keep
Listen,
running,
go trash. Listen, go
That's
trash.
right.
He's good behind. Need to kill him.
Come balcony.
He's on
He's
him.
balcony.
Yeah, he's behind you, lobby.
He's on top, he's on top.
He's on top.
Right, top right.
Balcony.
Balcony.
Back in left. The
Flash, balcony right.
Demon's sticking bomb left. Careful.
I'm stuck.
You have 80.
I'm going
just go
balcony.
back
I'm going
last.
balcony.
Oh no, wait. They haven't kept
I'm
it.
balcony
Can't block.
right.
Go block.
Back down trash.
Block second half.
We're blocking now. Jump.
I'm
I
down.
lost cell.
Yeah.
I'm disconnect. I'm backing. I'm disconnect. I'm backing. Backing.
Hold
back.
on.
Okay,
I got
last,
disconnected
last,
from
last.
Knox. Bomb left.
Yeah,
They
because
sticky me
it's
off.
sticky. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
What
I couldn't get out.
Okay, we're gonna push last. Okay.
Yeah,
So
they're
take
going
us-
bomb
Play
left.
close. You need to
Bottom
play
left.
close.
They,
You need to play close with Uber.
We don't need a pyro escape.
Scott on left.
Point.
I use.
No.
Oh, what the fuck? I use on you.
I use. They're so lucky. But that's it. It's 4-2, and Reason starting to gain a little bit of momentum, perhaps once again. And it seems like they're really having trouble pushing last. But as long as they lose some players on the spy defense, you know, it's very difficult to push the last when Epsilon have all 6 players alive. They need to bait them into a failed push or a failed defense on Spire. The previous mid went perfectly as well for Reason. Let's see if they can emulate that kind of thing. In comes Mike though for a stonking bomb. What a direct onto Happycool, but actually they've lost their medic as well. Knocks and Shocky down, but in the meantime they are trading a few frags either way. There are some fragging classes still alive there for Epsilon. Numlocked, how does he survive that? And they need to kind of team up together and maybe try and get onto Permzilla, but none of them are in a position to do so.
They actually have like double the health of the remaining Epsilon players, even though it's just Perm and kaidus. Tech's gonna jump forward onto the spire, but he's quickly onto the balcony. He's gonna hide there on the little ledge, and they know there's a soldier around here somewhere. Stark's looking for him. Happycool's gonna jump up. He sees Tech. Permzilla catches half a rocket, but he's still on half health there. He's able to move forward. But look at Nox respawning on Kritzkrieg, gonna change the dynamic of this game. But Permzilla is about to push in, and they're probably expecting that he's just going to give up the Uber for free. He's going to use it to gain entry to middle. So this crits could be devastated. But if Permzilla holds, it's going to be more of a fair fight. He's managed to just walk in through the house and totally avoid any threat. But Mike's waiting. Here comes the Mike bomb. Oh, one big direct puts Permzilla on 30. He had to pop to save himself there. But now Nox, he's ready with the crits. They're backing out. They're giving them enough rope to hang themselves. But they're ready to go. It's going to be Tech. The crits gets popped off. Didn't even matter. They're trying to walk forward here, but Reason have already vanished. Stark is coming in from behind.
That crit sticky was inches away from killing Permzilla though. That was so well timed from Numlocked. He was so unlucky not to find that frag actually, but they are cleaning everybody up anyway. All of these frags are going their way. Flippy and Shocky teaming up together are monsters. They're just mulching everybody that they meet. It's only Captain and Permzilla left alive, and there's 8 minutes now for them to get at least 2 rounds.
It was kind of unnecessary, right, to like throw everyone in after he'd already crit.
Yeah. Completely,
and
utterly. When Permzilla's already out as well.
Like, kaidus get it, and now they're facing off against the crits again.
You left us there for a moment, but we caught the tail end of that sentence. Something about kaidus and then crits, and then didn't get it. But we'll assume it was wise words, Admirable. But look at what is Stark doing all the way behind. Dueling Mike actually finds a frag, and he's been behind ever since the Uber charge. He's still kind of just hanging around all the way behind them, and that is really going to draw Epsilon back. They're not going to be wanting to push forwards when they've got Stark kind of spawn camping and doing all sorts of shenanigans behind them. Here's the crits though. Crits and Uber both popped, and Tech finds the frag onto Captain, but the Uber charge actually really doesn't find anybody. So strangely, Epsilon are in a better position off the back of that, and they're going to have the crits advantage to work with. Stark's in behind once again, but this time Flippy gets the better end of him. Mike really, really weak though, and these players coming back in from Reason, they really want to make something happen here.
Primzilla moving forward here with Rising and kaidus, but KnoXxX's crit advantage is going to continue to extend, but his retreat's being cut off by Rising. Gets one rocket, whiffs the second, but connects the third. Medic down. And Tech is going to flank through the house here, but Reason are looking to stack the point now. Tech is coming. He's telegraphed that he's been spotted out. He jumps and lands a juicy rocket onto Stark, but that's going to be all she wrote for Tech this life. Nox just about to get back on the field. Mike is hiding on drop down. He's standing just in the little ledge. Stark's going to run past him. Did he see that? Was he looking the wrong way?
Who knows, but can they do this? Can they? I want to listen to the comments and see what they're thinking here, but they have a full Uber advantage. Are they pushing with it? Who knows what's going on?
He's on check mouse. Halfy check mouse.
He might spawn kill.
We're speaking out, I have to back up. So.
Do we not have advantage?
We do, but we're two down.
What is reset now?
I have to wait for you.
Are you going?
Let's go now.
We're just holding about.
Let's go now.
Top lobby now. Look at 150 top lobby.
Go, use.
Took 6.
That was straight.
Jump back.
Get up. Scan him.
Points open, points open.
Yeah, I'm going top left.
That's the lobby's missing a lot.
On point.
Nice.
Played. More time to go back Halfy.
It's still so calm! I don't understand here. Their tournament life is on the line. They're 4-3 down. So close to getting in it. They are toe-to-toe with Epsilon for the difference of $500. And they are just the calmest people on earth. They're so chill, this Reason Gaming team.
Onto this mid. Mike has jumped onto the point with Flippy, but both of them being pressured back here, and Rising just peeks, walks through the closet there and takes a look to see Epsilon are still playing there on the low ground. So again we see Reason kind of playing a little passive, but now Tech's walked forward up the slope, picks up 3 frags. Captain and Rising as latest victims as Primzilla and kaidus try to back out here. Just that one adaptation there from Tech, that decision to walk up the slope, yielded big results. kaidus is being pressured hard, Primzilla is being baited to stay with him. 1 health, Tech runs in, grabs the pack, forces a wedge between kaidus and his medic. kaidus goes down, and Epsilon, with 4 minutes 30 seconds left, have just taken control of the game once again.
They have indeed. Mike's taking a battle with Stark as well. It is going to come out on top, not going to be caught by the spam rockets from Rising or Captain there. And so with a Demoman and a Scout down, the opportunity is perfect here for Reason to take this trade into last. Tech taking the charge in, trying to focus down kaidus. If they get that frag on the Demoman, the point is essentially theirs, but the stickies are still on it for the moment. Mike's kind of shifted all the stickies over to one side. They're trying to make a play onto it. They could potentially do that if they send somebody in on the left hand side. Shocky looked like he was going towards it. Everybody's trying to flood in now. Shocky's actually in onto the point. The sticks aren't dead again. kaidus, that's the second time that he hasn't dead the sticks when there's been a scout on the point, and he would have got the frag.
Mouse malfunction. I think they could have held that if Perman just healed Captain immediately after the Uber. Captain was trying to hold them up top, but he took too much damage and he was focused down after that. But onto this mid, Epsilon take the lead by 2 rounds again. 3 minutes 30 seconds left. A fast bomb into Valley from Mike. Just scatters all those Reason players briefly before he's cleaned up, but Primzilla lives to tell the tale. They're going to be able to walk through the closet here. Primzilla and kaidus looking for victims, but kaidus is getting pressured hard. He's surfed up there, he had so much health, but he's going to be able to survive anyway. Perm, Happy and Stark trying to survive this, but Shocky's going to be able to focus down Primzilla. Now it's all on Stark and Happy Cool to find that frag onto Nox. Stark's dancing, he's going for Numlocked, but he needs to kill Nox here. They're just going to be able to buy so much time off the back of this middle now. Huge advantage for Nox.
Yeah, it's dire straits here for Reason Gaming. Their tournament life is on the line. They are not going to be happy with second place to Epsilon. They really pegged themselves as a first place team. They were first place seed coming into this as well. They need to make this level. They need to draw this to a golden cap here, and that is going to force them to play aggressively into Epsilon, perhaps straight into Epsilon's hands. Captain spots everybody out on balcony, but they only have very limited time to work with. They've got a minute and a half to take this round. kaidus actually manages to drop the pocket there of Tech, and he's hanging around. He's giving Numlocked the jukes really well, actually, and they both trade. Fantastic play by kaidus. Unbelievable stuff from him. But the scout on the point, and that's what happens when your demo man is down. And that is it. It's over. Epsilon have managed to take it in 2 maps. That's incredible, Numlocked. I cannot believe that it didn't even have to go to a decider between these 2 teams, but it was still so close.
Bearing in mind that this is the tournament that made Epsilon come back to TF2 when they heard about this, it says, alright, we're going to put a team together, we're going to win this, and it looks like they've just done that. kaidus is going to get bum rushed in the house there. Flippy is still in control of that red house. Rising going to join kaidus in the spawn queue, but Reason know that it is all over. Captain trying to get back to Permzilla, but isn't going to make it. Happycool's life has just been put up for sale as well, and KnoXxX is going to cash out with a big crossbow. Then the Uber saw onto Permzilla. Oh my god. Epsilon, it's in a victory lap right now, Sideshow.
It is, and they're playing so well as well. I mean, they're playing better than I expected them to be playing. I think they have looked a little bit shaky in some of the games that I've previously seen them in, some of the Razor games or whatever, and then some scrims. They've looked a little shaky, but they brought their A game today, and they have come out with the victory. They'll be taking home the $900 that is the first place prize here in the Challengers Cup, sponsored by Razor, hosted by TFTV, and they are going to be very happy about that one. They are going to be playing in the season as well, in ETF12 Season 22. What a shot! Great stuff from Tech. But the game is over, and Reason Gaming have to go lick their wounds and prepare to face them in Week 5 of ETF12. As I was saying, these 2 teams are going to match up as well, and they're going to be hoping for something different. Numlocked in onto last. Why? What? He caps it before he craters. That's unbelievable. But the final score is going to be 7-3 then to Epsilon eSports. Reason going to be very disappointed about that one. We'll have to get them in and have a talk to some of the players after we look at the logs.
You don't see that often where someone caps before the crater. That might be the first time I've ever seen that, in fact, in a live game, in an official casted. Okay, let's take a look at the logs.
Fat plays from Tech and Mike. Look at that, outclassing Captain and Rising so hard, just carrying the team on their back, like absolutely destroying Captain and Rising, outclassing them completely. The damage, the frags, the KD, the reduced deaths, everything was just so good. And even though Numlocked isn't putting up as much of a performance as kaidus perhaps, although that's fairly marginal, and Hafikul actually not getting into the game really at all. 10 for 12 on that pocket scout roll. Not a great game for him, but I think it's the soldiers that stand out for me.
Yeah, like half of Happy's deaths as well coming from soldiers. It's tough playing against Tech and Mike when they just hit so many directs. Looking at the air shots, in fact, Captain with 4, Mike with 4. kaidus gets 3 airs as well, but the mid stats favouring Epsilon 6-4. The damage, the frags, the Ubers, all in favour of Epsi. Permzilla doing a good job keeping the heals even there, but just slightly off in terms of the Uber charges.
Stark had a phenomenal game. I mean,
26 frags there.
Yeah, if you look at Stark, and 12 of them are on scouts, he's just going in there and slapping Flippy and Shocky occasionally. But it really doesn't matter. Like, he's taking maybe 1v1s behind and like delaying for the rest of his team. But in the actual like crucial team fights where they're actually exchanging Ubers and on the mids and things like that, it's just Epsilon on Badlands. They really looked in control. I mean, it was incredibly close. It was on a knife edge on Gullywash, but there were only really a few occasions on Badlands where you thought Reason might be able to get back into it.
Interesting to note that KnoXxX has double the assists of Permzilla. He's in there in the thick of it.
Double the frags too.
Yeah, well said.
That's the most important stat. Well, as you hear the sultry tones of
What's this spam?
You're looking at the Twitch spam.
What happened?
As you hear the sultry tones of Epsilon in the mumble, we are going to go over to some interviews. That's This is we're joined by KnoXxX and Numlocked, along with kaidus as well from Reason Gaming. And I'm gonna first off just start talking about Gully Wash, because that game was just ridiculous. What were you guys thinking at the end of that, repelling push after push, Epsilon?
I'm just glad my team could carry me.
Clutch lost like so many times.
Has he?
What?
I think Mike has the reaction times of a sausage. He just reacted about 7 years late to that. Where were we? What were we talking about? Yeah, Reason pushing last consistently, and that game was just so close. Like, you guys were absolutely neck and neck.
Yeah, the thing is that pretty good def, and we didn't manage to do some good push. We were stuck most of the time, but they didn't take any risk to push back us. Sometimes we were 2 down, they not push back us. So I don't know. It was kinda boring and slowly that game.
From your perspective then, kaidus, what was it like being in that position where you're just kind of the last push is so close? I mean, it's literally like one frag away from converting so many last pushes, but it just doesn't work every time. Epsilon able to defend.
I don't know, like, most of the pushes we did on Gully were just awful, but there was 1 or 2 that we should take, but just didn't hit the shots at the vital moment. Like there was one that really sticks in my mind where it was like we had 2 scouts and a medic versus like 1 scout or something, and here it's just like it's not clutch, it's just like DM fail on our part. Like, we just beefed that completely, but a lot of them were just garbage, like really bad pushes, to be honest. I'd say, like, if there was 10, then 8 of them were garbage. 1 of them we definitely should have won, and like 1 of them was a nice defense.
What do you think then? Is that something that you've identified that you need to then be improving, last pushes in general, or is it just Gully Wash? Was it the way Epsi were defending? What was going on?
No, like, we didn't really play Gully yet. Like, we only played week 1 maps so far. Like, obviously, like, it should have been better than it was, but like I said after the game, more concerned with the Badlands last pushes that we failed, because we played that map already, we know the map. With Gully, we're still kind of getting used to the new roster. Like, we think we played it once against a bad team, that was it, so I didn't really care about that, but the Badlands last pushes was what was really annoying. Because everyone knows how to push last on Badlands, you know?
Was this then just a lack of cohesion between your team? Is it something that's been ongoing and something you're going to have to fix, or was it just choking on the day?
No, it's not choking. We're just not good at last pushes at the moment. Like, we've only played a handful of times together, and Perm's like new to medic, so a lot of, the Ubers, not quite where we'd like them yet. But it's a new guy, like a new medic basically. He's got to get used to, I think, the pace of the game a little bit more. He's doing good, but these things will come with time.
What's wrong with your right mouse button, man? A few times they capped and your stickies were still on the point. Badlands.
Well, it's just how it goes. You can't always dead them,
You
because
gambled?
yeah, you have to. Like, if you dead them all the time, then they just put someone on the point straight away afterwards. You have to kind of hold it as long as possible. And Stefan's doing this jump with the winger that makes it very difficult. He's like sliding on the point, doing like a double jump with the winger. It's really difficult to time the death for that, especially when you can't see it. Because if I death early, like, it's over anyway. So you just have to gamble it, and sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's difficult when you're in that kind of situation. The Demoman is just so crucial on Badlands last. And
yeah, it's like you can't see, because you're forced into spawn, so you can't see the point. You have to totally just play it by like instinct more than anything.
And so, Nox, you've managed to best them in the Challenges Cup. You're coming up against them in week 5 as well. They're looking like your strongest competition. They were seeded first coming into this tournament. Do you think they're going to gel more as a team as they go across? They're gonna beat you again in week 5, right?
No, of course. It was a really close game anyway. Like, the last Badlands score wasn't very representative of the game. Like, it was really close, and they can win on TF12. Can win 2 map, 1 map. I don't know, but Yeah, they just need more practice, and I think both of our team are just new in terms of players. Like we didn't play together since a long time, just a few weeks. Just need more team play.
This cup's a bit different as well.
Yeah.
And this cup's a bit different as well because it's like all the maps are just preset.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing about the cup as well. What do you think about that? Was it did it play into somebody's hand particularly? Were the maps that you were? Well, I noticed that it really didn't play into Epsilon's hand when you were playing against TLR.
I think it's pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad because the game is also the pick and ban for the map. Like this is one strategy point. Like you have to know what map the weakness of the opponent on what map. So this is an important part.
Are you saying you wouldn't have picked Sunshine if it was your choice?
No. Like I think Seb plays Sunshine maybe. Yeah, no, I think he didn't play it at all. I don't know Seb.
He played it with Suave, but I think that was just one map, literally, that we played.
Yeah,
so it was just the official versus BK. But it wasn't so bad then, so I don't know what's happened between now
I just had
and
an
then.
awful night of video games tonight.
What was happening, Seb? The chat are trying to cheer you up, but what happened? we
there's no
tuned into the
energy.
comms
It's
once.
your A fucking face. There's no energy. I need energy.
Don't give him any energy. Give him my face. But we tuned into the comms, Seb, and we on the Gully Wash, and we heard every time I push out, I'm getting fragged by a stupid hiding soldier or a hiding scout. Is that what was happening? You getting shut down?
I was just pushing too far.
I
was just pushing too far.
You did that in me. Fuck you.
I was just separated from Nox and Tech a lot. Like I'd push too far forward on my own, and then like I'd be surprised by, oh, I'm here alone. My team's fallen back, and then Stark just starts from behind somewhere and kills me.
Yeah. As I said, Stark is unpredictable sometimes. He rushed, you didn't expect that, and sometimes that paid. So, yeah.
Yeah, but also in week 5 as well, the maps, again, are predetermined, and like Sunshine and Process isn't great for us.
Seb's called it already. That's the GG. But that then sets it up quite interestingly for the playoffs as well, and the battle between you guys, and whether the other two teams that look like they're going to be able to contest it are going to come into it as well. I mean, we saw TLR come out with a decent performance against you guys on Sunshine, and then I don't know, they looked like they were in it for a little while on Snakewater, and then they died.
No, it's because we played bad on Snake.
We were like overcommitting for every single point on Snake War.
So much mistakes.
As soon as the game got close, we just decided, right, let's stop being idiots and play properly.
You want to comment about the pauses, Barton? We were told that the issues were around your mum and her excessive use of Facebook.
My mum's a school teacher, and she was uploading stuff for PowerPoints to her work servers, ready for tomorrow's lessons. Okay.
All right. Okay.
So she wasn't browsing.
We were misinformed.
Thank you for the story.
Well then, that I think rounds that up. We've concluded the Challengers Cup. Then that was the grand final between Reason and Epsilon. Epsilon managed to take it in 2 maps there, with Gullywash 1-0 and then a victory on Badlands as well, 7-3. So good stuff for both of those teams. They'll be facing each other in ETF2L as well. As we move towards the beginning of that, catch all of the action on Team Fortress TV as we cover this and the ESEA and any other TF2 action that's happening. But for now, this is the Challengers Cup signing out. The prize money has been won.
Got a public service announcement from Buttnose. He just wants to remind everyone that the Razor platform, the Razor Arena, it's open to anyone to use. And that means that anyone can seek out sponsorship and run a tournament on it. Like Buttnose has stepped up kind of from nowhere and started organising these tournaments like the TF2 Pickup Open, and then getting involved with this Razor one as well. But even if there's any sponsors out there, are thinking, I'd love to throw some money at competitive TF2. It's a perfect platform. It takes up, or it deals with so much of the mundane administration stuff for you automatically. So if you've got fat pockets, contact Dilusive. Gaming grids.
I'd like to actually shout out Serotonin as well, because he's just donated €500 to be used for a cup from the TLR fundraiser that never got used, and so instead of keeping it or distributing it between the team, he's decided to donate it to a cup. So we're going to be running that on the Razor platform as well. There's going to be a cup that's for either high or mid teams, something like that. That the so that these dirty Prem players don't get a look in at it. But so shout out to Seroton and keep your eyes peeled for something like that happening for all of you guys who aren't playing at in the upper echelons.